Welcome to the live stream.
What brings you to the land of the gatekeepers?
I'm searching for someone.
A dangerous quest for a lone hunter.
I've been alone for as long as I can remember.
What brings you to the land of the gatekeepers?
I'm searching for someone.
What brings you to the land of the gatekeepers? What brings you to the land of the gatekeepers?
I'm searching for someone.
A dangerous quest for a lone hunter.
I've been alone for as long as I can remember.
kind of getting myself ready. My real goal with what I wanted to do with the podcast is that there's a bunch of people out there who are, interviewing, all the big names and who are like really into like what's happening right now. And I think that they're doing great and amazing work. And I didn't just want to do another UFO podcast if I didn't feel like it was additive. There's already people who are doing so much like amazing work. And I just, I wanted mine to add something to the conversation. And what I really saw, so I'm like a brand and marketing director. And, so the thing that I think about all day long is how do I introduce a new idea to someone, whether so far surpassing what we even understand, what would that look like to us and the hard data and what's actually there. And I respect those people a lot because they're doing a lot of good to move disclosure forward now. That's just not how my mind works. That's not who I am as a person. And I'm very, I'm very into the consciousness part of it because I think that when you have something that's so confounding that fits no model of what we believe to be true, it suggests that there's something more, that there's something significant that we don't understand about ourselves and about just the reality that we experience. And it takes you down this whole rabbit hole of what is the nature of reality? What is the nature of consciousness? What is this? What is the nature of this persistent experience that I wake up and have every day and can't seem to break my way out of? What is this thing? And that's a lot of, I really care about what UFOs are, obviously, but the stuff that keeps me up at night and the stuff that really, excites me kind of leans more in that direction.
Yeah, me too. And I think there is definitely a place, though, like you said, there's a place for nuts and bolts researchers and I personally think that if like government-backed nuts and bolts researching is what it takes to make it an acceptable mainstream topic, then that's good enough for me.
Yeah.
Because prior to that whole Department of Defense briefing, you couldn't talk about it without being stigmatized.
Yeah. I mean, even now, I've just tried to get to the point where I don't care. But I mean, there are people who have come at me and just told me that I'm, people that I know, like in my actual life, not just like internet trolls, and I don't know what to say at a certain point, and you have to just kind of let it go at a certain point, because, at the point that I'm like, well, Congress is being briefed on it. There's legislation being written about it. You have people at all levels of government and government contractors and all of this coming out of the woodwork to say that this is happening. We have presidents, we have astronauts, we have the head of NASA. Like, I don't know what it will take for some people to recognize that this is real, but I think that the stigma that's been built up around it makes it really difficult for people to engage with it meaningfully. It takes a certain level of intellectual courage, and you can't be too afraid that people are going to think you're crazy, because as soon as you start talking about UFOs, there's going to be a certain amount of people who just think that you are, and that's unfortunate, and I hope that those people come around at some point.
Well, I think a lot of that is just fear.
Yeah.
Like the nature of their reality could be changed. And, nobody really knows what that means for anybody. So,
Yeah.
I know, like, some people too, like, if they come from certain religions, like, it's it's just not a topic that's possible in a household. And it's not even just UFOs, it's paranormal in general. Like, my mother, for example, would have precognitive dreams. But it was against her religion to acknowledge it was possible. And so she would never talk about it after a certain point. She talked about it a lot until like about 98 or 99, 1998. And then after that, she just decided, you know what, I don't think I'm allowed to talk about it anymore. And so she wouldn't even acknowledge it. And if I ever brought it up, it was bad. So, yeah, I just think it's fear.
Yeah, I mean, I think absolutely. And I think, obviously religion's a part of it. I think another part of it, I think it's the thing that kept me out of it for so long, is that like it forces you to throw out so much that you thought to be true, but the phenomenon gives you nothing to replace it with. You know what I mean? Like, you don't, like, people go in looking for answers Some people really think they find answers, but I feel like those people have been in their own way kind of led astray. I think that there's this like real compulsion at a certain point to feel like I'm going to find the answer, and some people just find it. I don't think we have enough evidence for anybody to have found anything, and it's really not everyone is built for that kind of uncertainty. And also, like, not everybody's at a place, I mean, people got bills to pay, they've got to go to work. Like, they've got kids to raise, they've got all kinds of things to do. And I just think not everybody's in a place where they're like ready to grapple with the nature of reality, especially when, there's nothing to replace it with. It's just a whole lot more unknowns. And, that's asking a lot of people, I think, especially given all the other things they have to worry about.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, did I tell you about my Trader Joe's orb?
No. Please do, though.
So there was one day over this past winter, I was meditating in the woods in Staten Island. It doesn't get particularly cold in winters. And so I was able to go into the woods and meditate. And I decided I wanted to meditate on the alien abduction phenomenon. And whether